They vanished without a word, no explanation, no argument, just gone. And when they came back, weeks or months later, something in you responded before your mind could catch up. This video explains exactly why that happened and how to dismantle it permanently. The dorsal anterior cingulate cortex does not distinguish between physical pain and social rejection. Neuroimaging studies, including landmark research by Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA, show identical activation patterns when subjects experience a broken bone and when they are excluded from a social group. Disappearance without explanation is among the most acute forms of social rejection because it removes even the closure of a stated reason. The wound stays open. The nervous system stays in alert mode, scanning for the cause of the injury so it can be addressed. This is the foundational mechanism the disappear and return pattern exploits. The pain of absence is real, neurological, and almost identical to physical injury. The person who vanishes does not need to do anything dramatic to create damage. Silence, sustained deliberately, is sufficient. Bluma Zeigarnik, a Soviet psychologist working in the 1920s, noticed that waiters remembered uncompleted orders better than completed ones. She formalized this into what is now called the Zeigarnik effect. The brain maintains heightened activation around unfinished tasks and unresolved interactions. Closure releases the file. The absence of closure keeps it running in the background, consuming cognitive resources, surfacing repeatedly in moments of quiet. When someone disappears mid-relationship, every unfinished conversation, every unanswered question, every plan that was made and then unmade stays active. You replay interactions not because you are weak, but because the brain is doing exactly what it was built to do, attempting to find the pattern that resolves the open loop. The person who holds the resolution has enormous power over your cognitive bandwidth, and they know it, even if only intuitively. Intermittent reinforcement, unpredictable rewards following a period of deprivation, produces stronger conditioning than consistent reward. This is not controversial psychology. It is the operating principle of every slot machine ever built. When the return follows the disappearance, the relief is not proportionate to the normal pleasure of reconnection. It is amplified by the pain that preceded it. The dopamine system spikes higher, precisely because of the low that came before. The person who returns appears transformed, calmer, more certain, apparently improved. This is often theater, a presentation carefully calibrated to maximize the contrast between the suffering absence and the relief of return. The comparison sells a narrative. They used the time wisely. You endured it. The dynamic resets with them at a higher relative position than they held before they left. After the first return, the pattern teaches a lesson the nervous system absorbs silently. Presence is conditional and can be withdrawn. Loss aversion. The brain's tendency to weight potential losses twice as heavily as equivalent gains makes the threat of another disappearance feel unbearable. You begin managing yourself to prevent it. Topics become forbidden. Reactions become muted. Good news becomes something you hesitate to share because the first disappearance coincided with a moment when you were doing well. This is the eggshell walk, a state in which the other person's presence has become so uncertain that your own behavior is now being shaped by the fear of triggering another absence. You are no longer responding to them, you are managing them, and the management costs you something important, the ability to exist authentically in the relationship. Protection. When you notice you are editing yourself to prevent someone's disappearance, name that state explicitly. The editing is the evidence. A relationship that requires you to suppress your authentic experience to maintain it is already damaged at its foundation. Trauma bonding occurs when the same source generates both the wound and the relief. The nervous system, under sustained stress, becomes hypervigilant toward the source of that stress, and when relief arrives from that same source, the gratitude is disproportionate. You are not grateful for normal kindness. You are grateful for the ending of pain they caused. The relief feels like rescue. The rescuer is the same person who created the emergency. This dynamic is not unique to romantic relationships. It appears in friendships, in family systems, in professional relationships with abusive bosses. The common thread is the alternation of pain and relief delivered by the same person, creating an attachment that operates differently from, and often more powerfully than, the attachment formed through consistent positive experience. Understanding the mechanism does not dissolve the bond, but it does allow you to name what you are experiencing accurately, which is the first condition for making a different choice. Each disappearance and return cycles the status hierarchy between you. Before the first disappearance, the relationship may have been roughly equal. After the return, especially if you expressed distress or reached out repeatedly during the absence, the power differential has shifted. They can leave. You stayed. They came back transformed. You are still here, in the same place you were when they left. The nervous system registers this shift in the invisible social ranking and adjusts behavior accordingly. More deference, more effort to maintain their interest, more willingness to overlook behaviors that would have been unacceptable before the first disappearance. Each cycle deepens this adjustment. The relationship changes in their favor without anyone saying so. The cycle breaks when the return is not met with relief, not with anger. Anger is a response that acknowledges their power over your emotional state, with calm, observable detachment. The return is noted. It is not celebrated, it is not punished, it is simply encountered from a position of stability rather than need. This is genuinely difficult because it requires sitting with the anxiety of the absence without filling that anxiety with the usual chase, the reaching out, the rereading of old messages, the constructing of explanations. The anxiety is the trained response to an intermittent reinforcement schedule. The way to extinguish it is to allow the uncertainty to exist without acting on it. Each time you survive the absence without acting, the hold of the pattern weakens. Practically, establish a rule that you will not initiate contact during an unexplained absence. You may not be able to stop the internal experience. You can stop the external behavior that signals to the other person that the pattern is working. Behavior is what they read. Behavior is what you can change first.